I'm really excited to have Mandy joining me today, who's an investor relationship manager here in Victoria. Mandy is joining me, and she is an absolute rising star in this space. And I've been really honored and grateful to recently have worked with Mandy. So, first of all, Mandy, welcome to the Rise Factor.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here, especially after listening to so many of your previous episodes.
It's been an absolute journey for you over the last couple of months and been following you for quite a long time. And today I wanted you to come on and join us because you really have built a solid community at its core. In fact, when I shared you, Mandy, on some of my stories on Instagram, I had someone reach out and was like, I love Mandy. And I was like, I need to get you on because that just goes to show how much you are based in your community and involved in your community. So I'm really glad that you're joining to talk about that and dive deep in that today. However, for those that don't know you, Mandy, who's Mandy?
Who is Mandy? So I am a 37-year-old solo mama to a beautiful 9-year-old daughter called Jazzy. So I'm a mum, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a really fun auntie. I am very much a community-minded person, and I guess you could say I'm a positive person. I feel I like to be positive, and I feel that that's what people take away from when they meet me as well, is that you're always so smiley and happy, and that's just me.
Yes, I love it. And I think because I've gotten to know you in more depth the last couple of months, you are what you see is what you get, Mandy, with you. And I love that. So, in exploring that with your personal brand, what has helped you really get to the core of your authenticity?
Well, definitely what we went through in the Rise program definitely helped me understand a lot more about myself and about why I do what I do, and what my goals are as well. So I guess you could, put into that my values, my self values, definitely, commitment, community, authenticity, and being honest with everything that I do is really important to me. So I think that, if you hold yourself to all of those values with everything that you do, that's what people are going to see you for. And that's how you build that trust, especially in our industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love seeing on your socials is I already felt like I knew you, Mandy, before I actually really got to know you. So, you mentioned earlier about Jazzy, and what I love seeing is the relationship that you have with Jazzy. Just this morning, I know you shared about her dancing, and so you can really see your values come to life there by what you share. And also, I think that then gives a entire picture of who you are, what you love, and builds that trust really quickly with anyone who comes to your profile and has a look at you. So, how has that now helped you in your BDM role by you showing up authentically?
I think that it definitely creates not only the sense of trust, but also you get to know people on a deeper level and find those common connections. So, being, I've grown up in Melbourne my whole life. I've been in the Glen Eira area my whole life. It's where I live. It's where my parents still live, 2 minutes up the road from where I am now. And it's where I work as well. And so, when people have that familiarity with somebody, that's going to create a really strong connection. For example, in my BDM role, I had a call, yeah, well, I had an email yesterday from somebody saying that they wanted a fee proposal for these two properties. And I could tell that they had BCC'd me in this email, probably with another 4 or 5 agents. And I straight away called this person and I said, look, you're not buying fees, you're paying for a service. And so let's set up a time for us to have a chat about what your values are, what your priorities are. And then that way we'll get to know each other and see if we're going to be the right fit for you. And I think that just by doing that, picking up the phone and just being really honest, I'm not going to give you fees just over an email because I don't know what you're about. I don't know what your properties are about. I don't know what your history with property management has been or if you've self-managed. So helping to find those familiar connections
Mm.
definitely helps to get the relationships cultivated a lot quicker. And also really helps with my referrals as well, because people will have a great experience working with me and with our team, and they'll want to share that with others. And so building referrals, even based on word of mouth or people that you know, that is going to be so much more impactful than just finding out who's got the cheapest fees.
For sure. Mandy, when we were deep in the program, I remember, and you'll probably recall this, there was a listing you had won, and the depth of information that you went into for this landlord, and then we went and did it a little bit more deeper was phenomenal. So for those listening, do you recall which
Yeah,
one
I
was? Yeah.
know the property, the exact property. I'm going there on
Yeah.
Friday.
So, for those who are listening, give us a background about that situation and what you did to be able to showcase the value, the difference in the dollar amount, and then being able to turn it around based on going from a fee conversation to I can see the value, Mandy, I want to go with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So this particular property was a property that we sold from our sales team. And I went to the final inspection to meet the owner and have a chat about the property, about, if they wanted to rent it out. And then during that conversation that we had, they also mentioned that they were going to be purchasing another property that evening in a nearby suburb. And so I thought, oh, great. This is, just not just one, this might be two, might be three, who knows how many other properties they've got. And so they did end up purchasing that second property, but it's already tenanted and it's already managed by another agency. So they obviously got the fees for the current property management agency. And I'd said that I would match whatever we were offering for the initial property that we were going to be leasing out. And they gave me a kind of side-by-side graph of the difference in fees, and we were slightly higher here but lower here. And what I responded to them was, what you get is what you pay for. With me, you get that one-on-one first point of contact. I will always answer my phone. I will always answer a text message no matter what hour of the night it is. And really sold that. People always say a personalized service, but it really is a personalized service. And so within that message, I went through, the fact that I'll be doing all the inspections myself. So I'll be able to give them that information and feedback from the potential renters who attend, and really just selling our agency and our team and our processes. And you're not going to get that from every agency, especially not ones that necessarily charge a really cheap fee. So that was, what we kind of knuckled down to was being very, very specific in what we set apart, what makes us set apart from other agencies and other experiences.
Yeah. And what did he say?
Yeah, we signed both. It was great.
Yeah. I'm good. So I think this is just, going back to because you are clear on your values, the value that your team bring. This email was, you could really see the depthness to that. And I think he did say something about the personalization that his response as well. So I think you took the time. It wasn't an automated response. It wasn't like, oh, well, what you pay for is what you get. You actually went into the detail to be able to show them, well, this is the difference and this is where the value is. And you ended up getting the great fees that you put forward. So I think when you are clear on your values like you are, Mandy, then that helps the conversations go towards that direction, that it's not just negotiating via fees. So I think I just wanted to highlight that because you are so authentic and real, and that then shows in the conversations that you're having with your landlords. And I'm really proud of the work that you've done to get to the level that you are. So, Mandy, let's talk about now the community aspect, because I see it myself, and I know how passionate you are and the beliefs that you have because of the conversations we have and what you share. But where does this stem from, this core of building this community?
Well, I guess, the core would probably come from my grandparents. So my grandparents were Holocaust survivors that came to live in Melbourne and settle their roots after living in Poland and going through my late grandmother, who I'm named after. She was in Bergen-Belsen, which was one of the camps, and was there during the liberation as well. And my grandparents came here with absolutely nothing, and we actually in Melbourne have one of the largest Jewish communities out of all the cities in the world, especially from Holocaust survivors. And so our community is based on the values of our grandparents and great grandparents, for some people who came here with nothing, who needed to rebuild their community and really design it for the future generations. And my parents have always been entrepreneurs. My dad was a car mechanic for 25 years before his back went out, and had his own businesses. And my mum as well was always working from home. She was a caterer at one stage, and she's an artist. And now she sells and manufactures soaps and candles and travels all around Australia, really. And so they're very much hard workers. And I guess that's where I get my work ethic from. The fact that I'm a solo parent as well, we kind of don't have a choice. I always say we're the superhero solo mamas. Is we work harder than anyone else because we don't have anybody else to rely on. And so I think that I've grown up within the Jewish community. I went to a Jewish school. I went to a Jewish youth movement, and I've always been very much ingrained in helping out the community, whether it's from a volunteering aspect, a fundraising aspect, or just being somebody who you can ring up and ask a question without, asking for any payment. And a few years ago, I actually built a Facebook group that I started for the Jewish mums in Melbourne. And that was really a lot about the support for young Jewish parents in our community, especially mums. I think that, and you'd know this as well, Sarah, being a mum, you have to really find yourself again after, starting in motherhood. And it's really hard when you don't have that village of people to fall back on. And so I created this second kind of community that was really, it started from nothing, and now we've got almost 3,000 members, and just having that support and that community aspect of it has definitely helped so many people. I get messages from people all the time saying, why it's helped them. And so I'm ingrained in my community that way. And then I also have been a board member for my synagogue for the last, I think it's 9 years this year. I got elected 9 years ago, and I've been the vice president there for about 7 years. And I also sit on another board for another Jewish community called the Council of Orthodox Synagogues of Victoria, doing all the communications and media for them. So I guess for me, this is very long-winded. My grandparents instilled that in me. That's something that I feel is really important that I want to instill on my daughter as well. And she definitely has that sense already, even at 9 years old, absolutely loves our community and loves our culture and all of that. And I think it's really important that you have to have that basis in your life to have that support and know, where you can go to actually find that support.
I think that's so beautiful, Mandy, and such a celebration to your ancestors as well of all of the things that you're doing. And on top of that, being, like you said, a single mum, and also being a BDM, which we know is a very challenging role in itself. So how have you been able to leverage your community for your BDM role now?
Well, definitely being part of the community and being involved in so many different aspects has, got my name out there, I guess you could say. And people know me and they know who I am, and I am that trusted person. So I always have phone calls and messages from people just saying, do you mind if I just ask you a question? And I love being that kind of go-to person for somebody in our community, knowing that there's somebody who has time available for them to answer any questions. And I always say, like, I get off helping people. Before I was in real estate, I ran my own businesses, and they were all about helping people. And that's ultimately what I love to do. And, it's in Judaism, it's a what we call a mitzvah, which is a good deed, and a good deed is to help somebody. And so, if you're doing something for absolutely nothing in return, that's the ultimate goal for me. And yeah, I love to be that person.
Yeah, you're embodying, I suppose, what working in real estate and property management is about, and that is helping people. And you're doing it without the expectation of getting anything in return. However, you have been getting things in return. So I'm just going to say, Mandy, because I know what you did, is you put on a free webinar not so long ago. And from this free webinar, which was absolutely amazing that, you took the initiative, you were proactive in doing it, you were able to generate some opportunities for yourself. And there was people that were rooting for you and backing you. And now you've got this resource that you can literally put out there to be able to leverage your community and saying, hey, I've got this free resource. Would you like to, watch the replay? So I think that's one thing that I love is you are so active and you are proactive in your implementation and helping people because out of mutual respect and support for others. So I really want to commend you on all that you do in your community, and I have no doubt, Mandy, that it will come back in tenfolds for you.
Thank
So
you.
really, really admire that about you. So Mandy, what is one of your goals for this year?
Well, I have my vision board, which we
Okay.
did in the Rise program. And I've got it as my screensaver on my phone as well. So I look
I
at
love
it
it.
all the time, but I've also got one up here on my board. So one of my goals is to travel. And actually, funnily enough, an opportunity may have come up that I'll be able to go overseas in June. So I'm really hoping that that eventuates, which will be just a really amazing experience and opportunity. But I guess my other goal is to be really successful in what I do, be happy with what I'm doing, and create some amazing results as well. I love to be able to build my network as well. And also just, as I said before, be that person, that go-to BDM for people, not only in my community, but my, physical area and my council area. And for people to come to me, which is just, the opposite of prospecting, but ultimately that's the goal, is that people will come to you
Yeah.
and want to work with you.
For sure. And I've got no doubt, and I already know that it's happening, that you will achieve that by the end of the year. So Mandy, for PDMs, or whether they're new to the industry or they're experience, what is one thing that you would encourage them to take action on today that would help them reach their goals this year?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Mhm.
I guess, when I look back, I fell into real estate. It was never really something that I wanted to go into, or an opportunity arose. I took it, which was great. And I think that the best piece of advice that I was given when I started in real estate was just to listen to people, listen to your directors, listen to your colleagues around you, and listen also to what clients are telling you. And so if you want to achieve your goals, you need to listen to what everyone around you is saying and take it on board, and be really open to feedback as well. I am somebody who, and I've listened to this feedback many times, I take things very personally, and I am a sensitive person, which I've always known about myself. I'm a Virgo. So it's definitely just part of my DNA. And I don't have my ring on today, but I've recently listened to Mel Robbins' Let Them Theory. I've listened to it on the audio book because I love Mel Robbins' voice. I have a ring that says Let Them.
Mhm.
And that is my one piece of advice, is to, if you listen to any audiobook or read any book this year, it's the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, because it will literally change your whole mindset on how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see how others treat you, because it's not always about you. It's about them a lot as well.
Yeah. Great advice, Fanny. Great advice. Well, we are cheering you on. And I know, Mandy, that because you love being involved in your community, I know that you won't mind other BDMs reaching out to you and connecting with you. So I encourage anyone listening today, if you are wanting to dig deeper into some conversations that Mandy and I have had today about her involvement in community and the amazing things that she's doing as an investor relationship manager, otherwise some people known as BDM, reach out to Mandy. But Mandy, I just want to say, keep being you, keep being authentic, because I absolutely love watching your journey and just watching you shine every single day, whether it's in motherhood or being a BDM or within your Jewish community. And I'm just super, super proud of all that you've done so far and all that you're going to achieve this year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for creating this amazing community of BDMs. I didn't really know any other BDMs before joining the RISE program, and you've created this amazing community who I'm so grateful for and really looking forward to seeing how it grows.
And like always, team, keep rising.